We'll start, inshallah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam ala ashrafil anbiya'i wa mursaleen, nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. Allahumma anfa'na bima 'allamtana wa 'allimna ma yanfa'una. Allahumma zidna 'ilman innaka anta 'alimul hakim. Allahumma ij'al hadhihi al-muhadara hujjatan lana la hujjatan 'alayna ya rabbal alamin. Amma ba'd. This is an introduction, a brief introduction, if you will, into Islamic inheritance law. This is a class or a subject we've studied for about 1.5 years, but it's very, very intricate and very detailed, and it's impossible to cover the whole science of Islamic inheritance in one lecture. However, our goal, inshallah ta'ala, is to gain some introductory information so that, inshallah ta'ala, if you go on to study it more, it will give you a foundation as to what it is. This topic of dealing with the Islamic inheritance is a very, very, very important topic, one that is neglected by many of us. In fact, here in Philly, I hear many Muslims die every day, and not one time have I heard anyone talk about the issue of how to divide their wealth. What can be divided and what can't? What is a will and what is inheritance? Are they the same thing or are they different? No one never discusses that. And this issue in Islam is one of extreme importance. And so from that, we're going to talk about some introductory issues or some introductory things about Islamic inheritance. فَمِنْهَا إِنَّ اللَّهَ تَعَالَى تَوَدَّ تَقْدِيرَ الْفَرَائِض بِنَفْسِهِ. To show the importance of ilm al-fara'id. Fara'id, ikhwan wa akhwat, is dealing with inheritance, wealth, huquq, rights, anything that is left behind by a person once they pass away. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about inheritance in the Quran in great, great detail. In great detail. In fact, I remember some years ago, before we went over to study, I went to a lawyer and said, yes, if I die, I want a Islamic will. He was a Muslim lawyer. He said, okay. So he already had one written up and said, sign this. And back then I thought that was what it was, but then after you study, it's like, whoa, all he did was just have the highest written down and that was it. It's a lot more intricate than that. A lot more intricate. The details of it, we're not going to get into the details because it's a course. It's not something that you sit in one lecture to understand, but we're going to understand concepts. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Quran about inheritance and how it's supposed to be looked at. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Tilka hududullah. Allah says, these are the limits that Allah has set forth. Talking about what? Who gets what with regards to inheritance and sticking to what Allah commanded us to do in the Quran as it relates to Islamic inheritance. هذه أحكام Allah. These are the rulings that Allah set forth. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَن يُطِعِ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ فِي قَسْمَةِ الْمَوَارِيثِ. Allah says, whoever obeys Allah and His Messenger in dividing the inheritance, فَيَقِرُّ بِهَا وَيَعْمَلُ بِهَا كَمَا أَمَرُهُ Allah Ta'ala فَلَمْ يَزِدْ بَعْضَ وَرَثَ وَلَمْ يَنْقُصْ بَعْضًا بِحِيلَةٍ وَوَسِيلَةٍ. And the inheritance is supposed to be set up so that one person doesn't get more and another person doesn't get less than what Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala has legislated for that person to get. So then Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala talks about the one who leaves it off. Think about this. People die almost every day, Muslims. And in our communities here, I've never heard anyone talk about dividing their wealth and how to do it and what is supposed to be done. And when I actually had a discussion with someone, they said, oh, we already have it. And I'm thinking to myself, how do you have it? But you can't force people to try to, understand what Islam says about these things and how you're supposed to understand them. So Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala mentions about the one who does the inheritance properly. Allah Jalla wa Ala says about them, يُدْخِلُهُ جَنَّاتٍ تَجْرِي مِن تَحْتِهَا الْأَنْهَارِ خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا وَذَلِكَ الْفَوْزُ الْعَظِيمُ. Allah Subhanahu mentions about the one who divides their inheritance properly, or who, actually implements what Allah has legislated with regards to Islamic inheritance. Allah says these people, He will enter them into paradise. تَجْرِي مِن تَحْتِهَا الْأَنْهَارِ. They will go into paradise, and underneath them there will be streams flowing. خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا. And they will be in this place forever. This is what success is. And then Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala mentions about the one who does not take heed to what Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala has legislated with regards to inheritance. Allah says, وَمَنْ يَعْسِ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ وَيَتَعَدَّ حُدُودَهُ يُدْخِلْهُ نَارًا خَالِدًا فِيهَا وَلَهُ عَذَابٌ مُهِينٌ. Allah Jalla wa Ala says, whoever مَنْ يَعْسِ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ, whoever disobeys Allah and His Messenger, وَيَتَعَدَّ حُدُودَهُ, and goes against the limits that Allah has set forth. Let's stop there. How can a person go against the limits if a person passes away? Let's give some clear examples of that right now. A husband and a wife. A husband passes away. The wife, she takes everything. She takes all of the wealth. He has a Muslim mother. He has a Muslim father. He has children. He has brothers that are Muslim. So on and so forth. She takes everything. This is going against the limits that Allah has set forth. Brother, well, wait a minute, bro. What do you mean? How does she go against the limits? I'll put it down as a beneficiary. Huh? Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala tells us who the beneficiaries are, not us. Not us. The beneficiaries are the ones whom Allah Jalla wa Ala mentions. Depending on if you have children, if a brother, if a wife passes, or if a brother passes away, the wife, depending on whether he has kids or not, her portion of inheritance will differ. If he has kids, it's going to be this. If he doesn't have kids, it's going to be that. The same thing for a husband. If his wife passes away, he gets a portion if they have children, and he gets another portion if they don't. But the parents are not left out. So on and so forth. And the purpose of today is not to get into the details. It's to give you the general picture of what's going on. Allah says, whoever does not obey Allah with regards to this, then these people are warned of a severe torment. A severe torment. But we have a lot of statements from many of the scholars of the past with regards to Islamic inheritance. There's a hadith that was reported on the Prophet ﷺ, where he said, Ya Aba Hurayrata, ta'allamu al-fara'id wa'allimuha fa'innahu nisfu al-ilmi wa huwa yunsa wa huwa awwalu shay'in yunza'u min ummati. The hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, where he said, O Abu Hurairah, learn al-fara'id, learn Islamic inheritance, wa'allimuha, and teach it. For indeed it is half of knowledge. وَهُوَ يُنْسَى, and it will be forgotten. وَهُوَ أَوَّلُ شَيْءٍ يُنْزَعُ مِنْ أُمَّتِي. It will be from the first things that is removed from my ummah. طيب. The ulama, first of all, this hadith was reported by Imam al-Bayhaqi, and likewise others. However, many of the ulama say this hadith is da'if. However, we have a hadith that are da'if, but the meaning of the hadith may be sahih. And so because of this, you may find different hadith that are not authentic, but you may find many of the ulama explaining the hadith because the meaning of it is correct. So herein, he says that, as the ulama explain this hadith, nisful ilm. When we first studied this chapter of ilm al-mu'arif, or Islamic inheritance, we thought, why is it considered half of all knowledge? Why? What's the reason? Can anyone expound on that? Why do you think this is considered half of knowledge? Does anyone know? Anyone? Not everybody at one time. Nah, fadl.
Because everybody got to die. That's the first thing that happens.
Allahu Akbar. MashaAllah. One of the mashayikh, they mentioned to us, they said that every other knowledge in Islam has to do with life, living, from buying, selling, praying, zakat, hajj. Everything you could think of, the rulings that pertain to an individual, it all has to do with them living. And then here's a science that strictly deals with death. And this is for the reason that many of the ulama, or the scholars of Islam, they mentioned that knowledge of Islamic inheritance is half of all knowledge. وَهُوَ يُنْسَى, and is also from the knowledges of the religion that is easily forgotten. You can spend years studying Islamic inheritance, but if you leave it off for 3 months or 2 months, you will have almost forgotten everything. And it's from the first of the things that will be removed from the ummah. And so we have here, وَرَوَى عَنَ الصَّحَابَ رَضِيَ اللَّهُ تَعَالَى عَنْهُمْ فِي حَثَّ عَلَى تَعْلِيمِ الْفَرَائِضِ. And we have some different narrations from the Sahaba, how they stress the importance of learning Islamic inheritance. So from them, we have a statement of Umar ibn Khattab where he said, تَعَلَّمُوا الْفَرَائِض فَإِنَّهَا مِنْ دِينِكُمْ. He told his companions, he said, learn Islamic inheritance, for indeed it is from your religion. And then we have another one on Ibn Mas'ud. He said, تَعَلَّمُوا عِلْمَ